Whitney Houston's daughter, the heartbreaking tragedy of Bobbi Kristina Brown. Born to music royalty, her life unfolded under an intense, often unforgiving, magnifying glass. Her story is a chilling echo of her mother's, a tragic reminder of fame's darkest side. Bobbi Kristina Houston Brown arrived on March 4, 1993, in Livingston, New Jersey. Her mom was the reigning queen of pop, Whitney Houston. Her dad, R&B star, Bobby Brown. She was born into a musical dynasty. Her grandmother was gospel legend Cissy Houston, and her mother's cousins included Diane and D.D. Warwick. Her godparents were Cece Winans and music mogul Clive Davis. Her immersion into the entertainment world was immediate. At 8 months, she debuted on TV during Whitney's interview with Barbara Walters. Before turning 1, she was on stage with Whitney at the American Music Awards. Her innocent voice graced Whitney's 1998 hit, My Love Is Your Love, and she sang with her mom on Whitney's 2003 Christmas album. Growing up surrounded by fame likely normalized an extraordinary existence, but it also brought unspoken pressure, especially with the Houston family's renowned vocal talent. Bobbi Kristina's childhood was often tumultuous, overshadowed by her parents' highly publicized struggles with substance abuse and their volatile marriage. Bobby Brown later admitted his daughter often saw her mother and father high and witnessed their regular screaming matches, leading him to reflect, "We failed her." Her parents divorced in April 2007, with Whitney gaining custody. From birth, Bobbi Kristina was under relentless media attention, growing up in the shadow of her parents' fame. This scrutiny extended to personal aspects like her fluctuating weight during her teens, which became media fodder. This constant pressure inevitably took a toll on her emotional well-being. The devastating death of her mother in February 2012, when Bobbi Kristina was just 18, was a blow many believe she never recovered from. Described as inconsolable, she was briefly hospitalized. Friends said she was plagued by demons, likely contributing to her own subsequent struggles with substance abuse. Vivica A. Fox, a family friend, felt Bobbi Kristina wasn't allowed a bit more time to grieve. Instead, the reality show The Houstons, On Our Own, premiered mere months after Whitney's passing, featuring Bobbi Kristina prominently. This public processing of grief, amid significant childhood trauma from her parents' issues, may have complicated her healing. Despite the enormous shadow, Bobbi Kristina expressed a desire to carry on her mother's legacy through singing, acting, and dancing. She performed a cover of Whitney's I'm Your Baby Tonight on their reality show and had performed live with her mother on several occasions. Television was a familiar platform. After being Bobby Brown in 2005, she was a central figure in The Houstons, On Our Own. She also appeared on Oprah's Next Chapter to discuss her mother's passing and accepted an award for Whitney at the 2012 Billboard Music Awards. In 2012, she landed a recurring acting role in Tyler Perry's sitcom For Better or Worse. Perry was supportive, calling her such an actor. However, when Bobbi Kristina hoped to be cast in Angela Bassett's Whitney Houston biopic, Bassett reportedly commented that Brown was not an actress and didn't cast her. Her family name opened doors but also meant perpetual comparison to her mother's monumental achievements, making objective assessment of her abilities difficult. The relationship between Bobbi Kristina and Nick Gordon was fraught with controversy, largely due to his unique upbringing. Gordon came to live with Whitney Houston at age 12, and she reportedly raised him as her own, though he was never formally adopted. This created a sibling-like dynamic. Bobbi Kristina had called him her Big Bruh before they became romantically involved, shortly after Whitney's death. Their engagement, announced in October 2012 on their reality show, was called off a month later due to family pressure, but was back on by July 2013. In January 2014, they announced they had married, though this was later refuted by Bobby Brown's lawyer. The relationship faced significant disapproval from her family, especially her grandmother Cissy Houston. In March 2014, Pat Houston, Bobbi Kristina's aunt, obtained a restraining order against Gordon after alleged threats. Sources indicated a tumultuous relationship marked by frequent arguments. Police were reportedly called to their home in January 2015 after a fight. Friends alleged their union enabled self-destructive tendencies, with one friend, Max Lomas, revealing, "We were all bad into drugs." There were also allegations of physical abuse and financial exploitation by Gordon. This intense relationship, possibly a form of trauma bonding after Whitney's death, may have isolated Bobbi Kristina from crucial support systems. On January 31, 2015, Bobbi Kristina was found face down and unconscious in a bathtub in her Roswell, Georgia, home by Nick Gordon and Max Lomas. Lomas told authorities he'd witnessed an argument between Brown and Gordon earlier that day. Gordon and Lomas administered CPR until emergency services arrived. At the hospital, doctors determined her brain function was significantly diminished, and she was placed in a medically induced coma. Her family told a meaningful recovery would be a miracle. She was moved to Emory University Hospital for advanced neurointensive care, remaining in a coma for weeks. In March 2015, she was transferred to a rehabilitation facility, but her condition worsened. On June 24, 2015, she was moved to Peachtree Christian Hospice, signaling recovery was virtually impossible. This nearly 6-month period was agonizing for her family. Bobbi Kristina Brown died on July 26, 2015 at age 22, in hospice care. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's autopsy, unsealed in March 2016, revealed the underlying cause of death was immersion associated with drug intoxication. The immediate cause was lobar pneumonia, resulting from the immersion, drug intoxication, and subsequent brain damage. Toxicology found marijuana, alcohol, a cocaine metabolite, benzodiazepines, and morphine. The manner of death was undetermined, not natural but unknown if accidental or intentional. The circumstances chillingly paralleled Whitney Houston's death 3 years earlier. Both found unresponsive in bathtubs, both deaths involving drug intoxication. Whitney's death was ruled an accidental drowning with heart disease and cocaine use as contributing factors. The undetermined manner for Bobbi Kristina fueled speculation and became pivotal in the subsequent civil lawsuit against Nick Gordon. Bobbi Kristina's estate, through her conservator, filed a civil lawsuit against Nick Gordon, alleging wrongful death and seeking substantial damages, initially $10 million, later $50 million. The suit accused Gordon of a heated argument, administering a toxic cocktail that rendered her unconscious, then placing her face down in the bathtub. It also alleged physical abuse and financial theft by Gordon. Gordon denied the allegations, but repeatedly failed to appear in court. In September 2016, he was found legally responsible for Bobbi Kristina's death by default. In November 2016, a judge ordered Gordon to pay $36 million to her estate. Bobbi Brown expressed satisfaction, hoping it would aid his family's healing, and urged criminal prosecution. Gordon's representatives argued the judgment was unfair as only one side was heard and that Gordon couldn't pay. Nick Gordon was never criminally charged and died on January 1, 2020, from a heroin overdose. The civil lawsuit provided a symbolic form of accountability. Bobbi Kristina's funeral was an intimate service, her family calling it the Sweet 16 she never had. She was buried in New Jersey next to her mother. Tributes poured in, and a public candlelight vigil was held while she was on life support. Her life continued to be portrayed in media, including a TV One movie and a Lifetime documentary. A significant part of her legacy is the Bobbi Kristina Serenity House, a non-profit founded by Bobby Brown and his wife, Alicia Etheridge Brown, to combat domestic violence, homelessness, and mental health issues. This initiative transforms personal grief into public advocacy. Bobbi Kristina Brown's life was a profound tragedy. a young woman navigating extraordinary privilege and pain. Her story is inextricably linked to public pressure, inherited trauma from her parents' struggles, and the complexities of growing up under global superstardom. The parallels with her mother's life and death starkly illustrate how addiction and unresolved trauma can persist across generations.